Hello, hello, hello once again. It is Mitch. In this video, we're going to listen to our top 10 picks for the best game soundtracks of all time. Rather than how great games are, our focus is only the soundtracks of games. And this is with games across all platforms. So without any more delays, let's start with our number 10 title. 10. Journey. This is an indie adventure game co-developed by That Game Company and Santa Monica Studio. The music in Journey was composed and orchestrated by Austin Wintory, who would dynamically tie into both the actions of the player and to the sound effects caused by nearby game objects, and feels as if it were unfolding in real time. The soundtrack was released as an album on iTunes and the PlayStation Network. Ready your ears. Number 9. Shadow of the Colossus. This one is an action-adventure game developed by Japan Studio and Team ICO. While the game has an extensive orchestral soundtrack, the music is only heard during cutscenes and Colossus encounters. While the shrines of worship and traversing the landscape is silent, except for the sounds made by the protagonist, his horse, and their surroundings, the open nature of the game world and lack of life, coupled with this limited use of music, aids in establishing an atmosphere of solitude, giving way to its amazing score. Number 8. Nier Series. Nier is a series of action role-playing games developed by Platinum Games and published by Square Enix. The soundtrack in Nier is influenced by classical music. While recalling elements used for Nier, such as the overall sense of melancholy, an official soundtrack of Nier album was released in 2017. An additional 16-track album subtitled Hacking Tracks, containing musical variations for hacking segments, and was bundled with first print copies of the soundtrack. These are intense games that you'll really want to play with your volume high. Number 7. Final Fantasy Series. Final Fantasy is a series of role-playing video games developed by Square Enix. The musical score of Final Fantasy games were composed, arranged, and produced by Nobuo Uematsu, who had served as the sole composer for 7 Final Fantasy games. Final Fantasy VII was the first game in the series to include a track with high-quality digitized vocals, One Winged Angel, which accompanies a section of the final battle of the game. This track has been called Uematsu's most recognizable contribution to the music of the Final Fantasy series, which we all agree with. Number 6. Bastion. It's an action role-playing video game developed by independent developer Supergiant Games and originally published in 2011 by Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment. Bastion's soundtrack was produced and composed by Darren Korb, a songwriter and composer. The songs in Bastion combine heavily sampled beats in layers, along with acoustic elements. A physical limited edition CD of the soundtrack, signed by Korb, was also released on September 2nd. The soundtrack sold 30,000 copies by November 2011. Just listen to the music of Bastion anytime and you will forget everything else. Coming in at number 5, God of War. This is an incredibly popular action-adventure game franchise created by David Jaffe at Sony's Santa Monica studio. 6 God of War soundtracks have been commercially released and have featured several composers, including Gerard K. Marino and Ron Fish. The soundtrack of games received various nominations at award shows, as well as winning the award for Outstanding Achievement in Original Music Composition. Gamers praised it for being powerful, rich, and pulsing, though felt it was repetitive but very fitting to the game's atmosphere and combat. Up next, number 4, the Elder Scrolls series. This is an open-world action role-playing video game series developed by Bethesda Game Studios, and everyone who has played any Elder Scrolls games, especially Skyrim, knows the nostalgic music of these games. The team employed Jeremy Soule to compose the music for Skyrim, who previously worked on Morrowind and Oblivion. The game's main theme, Dragonborn, was recorded with a choir of over 30 people singing in the fictional dragon language. Bethesda released 4 audio CDs along with the game. Trust me, the Dragonborn main theme song still gives me shivers to this day. Number 3, Ori and the Blind Forest. It's a platform adventure, Metroidvania video game developed by Moon Studios. The soundtrack of the game is composed by Reth Coker, who incorporated unique themes for each of the characters that Ori meets throughout the game. The game also won the Game Awards 2020 for the Best Art Direction and Best Score in Music. The game also has a limited edition which includes a piano collection CD and an original soundtrack digital MP3 download alongside the game disc. It's one of our personal best soundtracks ever listened to. Number 2, Zelda Breath of the Wild. The Legend of Zelda series is an action RPG developed and published by Nintendo. The original music of the game was composed by Manaka Kataoka. The soundtrack was primarily written and performed on a piano, with a focus on ambient music and sounds rather than melodic and upbeat music in previous Zelda games. After its release, Breath of the Wild won multiple awards at the Game Awards 2017, including Game of the Year, Best Game Direction, and was nominated for Best Music and Best Audio Design. This game is very focused on immersion, and it delivers that with full marks. Coming in at number 1, and one of my personal favorites, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. It's a very well-received action role-playing game developed and published by Polish developer CD Projekt Red, and is based on the Witcher series of fantasy novels written by Andrzej Sapkowski. The music in-game was primarily composed by Marcin Szybowicz and performed by the Brandenburg State Orchestra, which consists of 35 tracks with a total running time of approximately 81 minutes. It is included with the game, as well as you can download it on GOG.com. Whenever you listen to the songs of the Witcher world, they feel truly from the living world of The Witcher. We have not seen music more immersive in a game world itself.
These scars long have yearned for your tender caress, to bind our fortunes, damn what the stars are.
And that concludes our list of top 10 games with best soundtracks. If you liked the videos, don't forget to hit the like button. Also, consider subscribing to us to see more videos like this in the future. See you next time.
My dear Dolly Polly, shut your eyes, lie still, lie silent, utter no cries as the Witcher, brave and bold, paid in coin of gold. He'll chop and slice you, gut and dice you, eat you up whole. Eat you